It's time to remove the mystery from medicine, to seize control of one's health, and to genuinely comprehend the essence of terms like wellness and wholeness. The Ask Dr. Jill podcast provides information, knowledge, and empowerment information to empower you to be wholly well. Dr. Jill Waggoner has nearly 3 decades of medical practice and has a deep-rooted belief in diverse approaches to patient care, well beyond conventional medicine. This realization has fueled her lifelong pursuit of understanding a holistic perspective on health.
Hello, welcome back to the Ask Dr. Jill podcast. Y'all, this is the end of season 3. I hope you've been enjoying the podcast. Season 3 went so quickly. If you haven't looked at all of the episodes for this season, make sure that you go back and look at them again or listen to them again, and then share it with somebody, particularly if you think that it's something that would help them or something that you just like. And then give us feedback, because I want to know, as we plan for the next season, what you'd like to hear about, and so that we can include some of those things as we go along. So today, yay, I have a special guest. So let me tell you how this came to be. I went back to listen to some previous seasons, and I think it was season 1? 2. Season 2. So season 2, my daughter and I, Jillian, had an episode where we were, talking to each other. We were being mother and daughter. And when we looked back at it and we looked at, y'all enjoyed that. You really liked that. And so I just thought that I would bring Jillian on so that I could talk to her. I do not have an introduction. She's a strategist and event producer, and she's a super daughter. So she's going to tell you all of the other stuff. But this is my oldest daughter. She's the one who made me a mommy first.
I did.
You did, girl.
Yes.
Wonderful. And my favorite oldest daughter in the whole wide world.
Mm-hmm. Favorite oldest. Y'all
oldest
caught that,
daughter.
right?
You caught
favorite
that
oldest.
because, the baby girl is my favorite baby girl in the whole wide world. So anyway, welcome, Jillian.
Thank you, Dr. Jill, for having me, Mommy. I thank you. I appreciate you. I'm really excited to be here. I think when I went back and listened to, I believe it was the insulin resistance podcast.
It was.
I said, girl, that sounds good.
I know, right?
So I think we had fun, and so I'm excited about having fun today.
Yeah, I'm really, I thought it was a real good idea. First of all, the generational thing. Mm-hmm. So for those of you who don't know, I was a little late to motherhood. And so I was in my 30s and early 40s when I was gifted with my 2 daughters. And so there's as it is for all people, there's a generational gap, but I think we've been able to bridge that gap really well. And part of it is some of it is, I think, because I was older, I was a more attentive mother. I do. Because I had no desire in my late 30s and early 40s to club or anything else other than work and make sure that you guys were brilliant.
I think you were attentive, but you were also a little strict.
They keep accusing me of being
guys,
strict.
So listen, let me tell you.
This is not about me.
I know it's not about you, but I have to tell you. She did this thing when we were younger. No mindless chatter.
That's
she
true.
Really, like, children, darlings, we're not going to mindless chatter, okay?
Yeah.
We're going to be quiet. Finish your thought and be quiet. I'm like, in retrospect, girl, I'm a kid. I want to talk. What I think I'm saying is not mindless.
So, y'all, there's this thing that happens, and please don't get mad at me, right? But sometimes people just talk, and you will be in the room with them, and they say, "Woo, it's quiet." Quiet is okay. So if you don't have anything to could say it's okay to be quiet. We could be okay together. So when my girls were growing up, I wanted to make sure that they didn't grow up to be women who just talked endlessly about nothing of significance.
Right. Absolutely.
So it wasn't that I didn't want them to have their voice. I just wanted their voice to say something
important
when it did. And I also wanted them to learn to complete their thoughts. So when they started to articulate anything, that they had a complete thought and were able to communicate effectively. So that was that older parent thing.
Yes, it was an older parent thing. I think that you probably were at your wits' end. Like, listen, I've been with people all day. I have patience.
Yes.
They talk. I listen. I'm not about to listen to children talking about, well, blue, red, green. I don't know. Well, I was thinking, baby, what do you want? What are you saying to your mother? Let's say it and let's get it done. So.
Yeah, and it was better than shut up. I would never say that.
Shut up. No,
yeah,
it wasn't.
Yeah,
it wasn't. But I think in retrospect, when I tell people, oh no, she said stuff like, we're not gonna mind, let's chatter. They're like, oh, your mama was different. I'm like, well, you have to understand.
Yeah.
She was well into her 30s when I was growing up. So there were things that she had little patience for.
Yeah. And I still do have little patience for foolishness.
Yeah, and I think that has helped me have little patience for foolishness.
I know, at your young age.
Yes.
So tell the people a little bit about you professionally and what you do. And then I have some questions that I want to ask you. And then you can, anything you want to talk about, you just go ahead. But tell the people what you do.
Okay. So I am a brand strategist. I manage social media and digital marketing. I am also an event producer. I have worked with several clients around Dallas and at this point, the nation. I've done some national events. And so, I really, when I got started doing digital marketing, I graduated from college and
Hampton University, for those of you who don't know.
The Hampton, the original HU.
It's you. Okay, here we go.
But no, I graduated from Hampton University and I have a degree in theater. And so I thought that my life was going to take me to the stage or to TV, film. And it didn't. When I left Hampton, I was not ready for that. I no longer had the desire or the passion to do that. And I was in I don't want to say a bad space, but I wasn't my happiest. I wasn't my best self.
Right.
So I came home, and when I came home, you and Daddy were like, well, listen, whatever you want to do, you can do it. I got a position. I became the first digital marketing manager for a local theater here.
You did.
The Black Academy of Arts and Letters. And that's where my career started. And I realized I was able, at the time I didn't realize, but now looking back, I was able to use all of the skills that I have accumulated over my life and put it all together. And so that's kind of where it started. And then from there, I've been blessed to have and make connections, and God has put me in places where I can make connections with people that were meaningful. And so my career as a strategist has just evolved with all of my amazing mentors, you, Daddy, Miss Pat, she knows who she is. I love you, Miss Pat. No, Mr. King, Miss Teresa. I mean, I've had so many amazing mentors in my life. And I think that as I have grown, I've been able to be a strategist and then go back into what I love, which is events and theater and live action things. So.
Right. Because one of the things I said to you, because I remember, and y'all, we're talking about wellness. And so being well and having a career that is fulfilling is an important part of wellness. So one of the things when Jillian graduated, she was like, I have wasted your money. Her thought process, and I don't want to speak for you, but the thought process was, I am not doing the thing that I think I went to school for. But the reality, production is production. It is strategy is strategy. And when you learn those skills, you are able to parlay those into something that really makes you happy and is fulfilling. And so I think so for those of you who are parents or grandparents or any of that, sometimes you have to, the young people that are in your life or people who are just getting their footing, you have to help them understand that it may not look like you thought it was going to look, but see where that that skill set fits.
Absolutely.
As you get exposed to different things, because a lot of times when you go to college, you don't really know, you haven't lived.
No, you really haven't. And I think that to your point, when I graduated, I thought that I felt guilty because I was not going in the direction of this degree. Right. And so I feel like, I got to get home. I need to pay my parents back. I need to do whatever I can because they made this investment and now it's a dud. And I didn't know what to do. And so I think that, like you said, those skills, you were able to show me, no, your skills, you use those skills all the time. You use them every day. And so I don't think I wasn't making the connection.
Right.
I wasn't making the connection.
And that's what we're supposed to do as part of guidance, because parenting never stops. Mentoring and mentorship never stops. And so that's what we are supposed to do, I believe, as people who have been gifted you. You know, God opted to send you to the earth via your dad and I.
Yes.
And so it is our responsibility to make sure that we guide you throughout your journey as long as we're here. So I think that that's what's supposed to happen. So I want to ask you some health questions.
Oh, girl.
Okay. First of all, do you think that your generation even cares about health?
Absolutely. I have conversations with my friends all the time. I think that we talk about health. Okay. We talk about health all the time.
Yes.
But I think I have conversations about health because you're my mom.
Okay.
Not necessarily
so
because...
they ask you?
Yeah, they're asking me questions. They're like, so Jill, let me ask. So what do you think?
Know,
so what should
right?
we do? And I'm like, okay, listen. And I've picked up so much of your, banter and your words and wisdom. So they're like, okay, so what should I do? I was thinking about doing it. I'm like, okay, you don't need to do this. Yeah. You need to make sure that when you're eating, you eat balanced. You know, I say all the things. So I don't know. I would say yes, people definitely care about health, but I don't know if my friends care more because I'm your daughter or if they care more because they just care more.
So your view may be skewed.
It may be just
because
slightly.
of the connection to your mom. Okay, I get that. So where you said they ask you questions, but so where do most people where do they get the information from? I know what we think. You know, I know what I think, and who I encounter. But where do you, in your experience personally, and in dealing with your friends and colleagues and peers, where do you all get your health information from?
We get a lot of information from digital media, so social media, your TikToks, your Instagram, YouTube. We absorb a lot online, but also Google. I think where we grew up, we are truly the digital generation. Right. So I grew up before the computer, then we got the Mac, then now they're iPods. So you have, we went from everybody that had a cell phone or a beeper when y'all were growing up. Everybody's cell phone was the big block cell phone. So we went from that to now we have these pockets of information. It's in our pocket. And so I think we get a lot from online, and people my age try to lean to people that they feel are experienced and give them the truth. So authoritative figures, like a lot of my friends follow you. They like and rely on the information that you provide because you are a trusted source of authority in this space. And so I think that whatever you put out there, if you say, listen, y'all need to walk outside with cotton over your face, a paper towel in your ear, and turn around 3 times, they would do it because you are a trusted source of information. So I think a lot of people get their information from not reliable or trusted sources.
That's what I think. So that's what when you're trying to decide how to impact people with health, because it is my mission. I really feel like it's my mission. Absolutely. I feel like that is why I'm here. And I see so much misinformation. And believe it or not, this is a whole thing. I'm gonna have to take this up in counseling. People send me TikTok information, Instagram information for somebody they don't even know. And what do you think about this? I think, who are they? But But
it's so readily available and people see it so often. So them sending it to you is not like they're asking you, is this okay?
Okay.
It's a question
so
to
it's
you.
Not an insult.
No, it's not an insult. They think so highly of what you provide and your thoughts. They want to know, is this real? Should I?
Got it.
Is this something? And you're the closest thing. They can't ask those people. They on TikTok. They don't know them, but they know you. And so I think they're trying to say, well, Dr. Jill hadn't said anything. Does she know that this is happening? You like, okay, y'all listen. This is fake. Okay. That's why you haven't said. They're leaning to you for your expertise. Yeah. And it's not they're not trying to insult you. They're trying to understand and
to give verification.
Absolutely. Right. They want to verify.
So I think that's important for those of us who are in health and wellness to know, so that we understand, particularly those of us who are in a little different generation than you guys are, because sometimes it's insulting and you think, why in the world are folk listening to this person? We had that a lot during the oh my gosh, during the pandemic. They would somebody would put out this ridiculous information and it would go viral.
Absolutely.
It would be everywhere. And it's like, this is so wrong. Folk are going to kill themselves with this because and the thing that people will say is, I'm a healthcare professional. What does that mean? What is it? Are you cleaning up a doctor's office? Are you answering the phone? Are you the physician? I will tell people though, and this is an aside. If you are a doctor, if you are a nurse practitioner, if you are somebody who's degreed and certified, you are going to tell the people who you are. You are not going to say, oh, I work in the doctor's office. Okay.
Right, but are you the doctor?
Are you an
MA? Are you a nurse practitioner?
What are you?
What
people who have some certified position in medicine will identify that because that's what gives us legitimacy.
I think that's a good thing to note. So if you are on TikTok and someone says, I'm in the medical industry, and they don't say who they are, not credible.
Yeah. Okay.
More than likely not credible.
Not credible. Okay. So that's real important. Thank you for that. So here's a question. As a young entrepreneur and someone who's in a committed relationship, oh y'all, she's married. What?
It was the way you turned like, oh, by the way, she's married.
No, I like my son-in-law.
No, I know, but you said it like, okay, don't get excited. I should have said this in the beginning.
Yeah, she's married. Almost 4 years. I just realized it's almost 4 years. But anyway, so someone in a committed relationship, how do you manage the professional? This is really interesting. How do you manage your professional ambitions and nurturing your personal life and wellness? I want to know what you have to say.
I think that for a long time, I didn't realize that I would just go until I fell off a cliff. And so I think my husband had to help me realize that, because he's always been very, okay, I'm going to rest. And I'm like, why are you resting? We can, I don't want to say I was one of those people that said, I'll rest when I'm dead. I didn't say that because I understood that. But I also felt like there's limited time. Like we have to go. We have to keep going. And so I think he helped me realize it's okay to take a break because I didn't see you take a lot of breaks growing up. I didn't see.
It's about me now.
I mean, listen, you said parenting never stops.
Yeah, that's the truth.
No, but I don't think I saw you take a lot of breaks. I don't think I saw you take a lot of time to work on you and say, you know what? I'm just going to spend the weekend decompressing, not writing a book, not working on a presentation, just being literally just, if I want to stay in the bed, I want to stay in the bed until you got sick. Yeah. And so I think I had adopted some of those traits. And so until I got married and Andre would say, okay, listen, you need a break. I didn't often take breaks. So I think in our wellness journey, learning to take breaks, and then also realizing when we are in a goal together, headed in the right direction together,
you and Andre,
it is more effective. So if we're both trying to get healthier, we're both trying to lose weight, we're both trying to eat the same, a certain way, it's much easier. If he's working on something and he's losing, I'm gaining. If I'm losing, he's gaining, because we're not doing it together. I think for us, if we are actively working on a goal together, one, we're competitive. So we're chasing each other like, okay, what is your number doing? We're trying to do the things together. It's more effective for us.
I actually think that, as somebody who's been married for 30 years and somebody who's practiced medicine for 30 plus years, I think that's real important. I found that with my patients over the years. If you have a household, if you have, children, or you have a mom, a dad, whoever, a couple, and they are on different pages when it comes to health, not only does it affect their ability to be successful, but it also affects the relationship. It can really be, so it can add another stressor. So if whoever is the person who prepares the meals, and that's not always the mother, sometimes, or the woman, sometimes, various people prepare the meals. And so if they're having to do something different for one person and something different for another, I often hear people say, well, the children don't need, I have to fix something. So you're different fixing hot dogs for your children?
Right.
They don't need hot dogs either. They need some broccoli.
Right.
And they need some. So it's, I think it becomes very stressful. But for you all to figure that out early in your relationship is good, not just for you, but good for you all collectively. And can really lead to wellness down the road.
Yes.
I think that's a good thing.
I agree. I think that, it took us a while to discover it because I was frustrated, like, you're doing extreme things and I'm not doing, and frustrated, but now we are in this lifestyle together, and it's been really great for our business, but for our relationship as well. We are more productive.
Yeah. And because when you're well, you are more productive. Also, when you feel good, you're not as grumpy.
Oh my goodness. That's so true.
It's the truth. And so everything changes in your relationship when somebody is not feeling well. And so I think that when you put that in perspective, that it's a good thing to do. Do you all have any health rituals or things that you do, things that you have found that's important for you to do in order to stay well? Not just physically well, emotionally well, spiritually well. Can you share some of those?
Yes. So I'm in counseling. I love therapy and counseling. I love my therapist. She is amazing. That's my girl. It's very relatable. Listen, if you don't have a counselor that you like and love, you need one. So I think therapy for me has been very helpful. It is allowed us to communicate differently. Prior to us getting married, one of the things we went through premarital counseling with different types of counselors. We had the people who were going to marry us. They counseled us on the spiritual side. We went to a behavioral and cognitive therapist to talk about communication. And then we did group counseling with a group. So I think counseling has been very good. Exercising together has been really, really good. We go to the gym now. Andre also goes to the gym by himself.
Right.
So he can lift weights with a man, because I can't bench press 350. I can't spot you. I'm not going to be of any assistance. I'm sorry. We're going to be out here struggling. So I think it is beneficial. He has his friends that he goes to the gym with so that they can help him bench press, because I can't. But we also go to the gym together, and we're not like on the treadmill together. We're not doing the same exercises, but we are there together at the same time.
I get that.
And so that's been really good. And then when we eat, we try to eat.
Do we need to pray a little bit about that?
I don't particularly dislike cooking. But I don't like it either. I don't.
That's your sister's thing.
Yeah, that's my sister's thing. If she could cook for me every day, I would love for her to. But she's, doing other things, got a big job. So we have decided that to make the best choices, and DoorDash is our friend. So I think when it comes to eating well, we've mastered that Chipotle has a lot of options that are healthy, what to stay away from, what to... I think just us doing it together. So working out together, I'm in counseling. We, I work on me. He's working on him. We're working in business together. We talk through things. And then, of course, eating. We at least try... I can't say we don't eat out, but we do try to make the best choices when we do eat out.
So let me just say this. DoorDash is really eating out.
That's why I said I can't say.
That's really eating. So that's one of those things. Eating the food at home that you purchase out is that's eating.
I feel attacked.
Are y'all praying for me?
I feel attacked because we are eating at home.
Okay, well, yeah. There you go.
That's why I said I could say we don't eat out. But when we do eat out, which is Chipotle, we do it Chipotle.
Yeah, at the house.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Sometimes we may go in and pick it up.
I know. I love it. But that's important. It's also important because in 2024, some people just don't cook.
Right.
Some people don't have time to cook.
Right.
I am finding that there are a lot of people who don't know how to cook.
Yes.
They really don't. They don't know what to do with those vegetables. They don't know and it becomes a big stressor. They think it's going to take a whole lot of time. And then they've got to clean the kitchen.
It
gets to be so much.
The kitchen.
I get it. But you can do it where it doesn't require a lot of cleaning the kitchen, but we can talk about that later. But anyway, I think it is important to recognize though, and as part of your wellness journey, and you know how I feel about food. Food is so important. It is one of the most important things that you can do. But to be able to find some places that you can go to and get some healthy food so you can sustain yourself. Because many people think about food as, I get this often from patients. They'll say, well, I'm doing Dr. Peppers and I went through and I just get a hamburger and fries because I have to eat something, like they are going to perish between noon and 6:30. You're gonna be all right if you miss a meal. But I think what's important is to recognize that there are some places that you can go and drive through that you'll be able to get some food that is at least better.
Yes.
Not bad, better. Food is not necessarily bad. It's what we do to it and whether it sustains you or not. So thank you for that. So here's another one. Being a strategist, you got to have sharp focus and clear thinking. So how do you ensure that taking care of your physical health is happening and that you are able to support your cognitive abilities? First of all, have you made that connection?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I made that connection.
I think that's a residual of having a mother as a doctor.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, the connection, there are so many things that you and I talk about from, menstrual cycles affecting your brain and me discovering that, what is it called? Period dysmorphia and like all those types of things.
And period flu.
All of, just the effect as women that our hormones have on our body and our brains, that, and then also connecting food. So I didn't realize that consuming sugar may be a contributing factor to attention deficit feature. Like at first I didn't connect that, you may not have attention deficit disorder, but if you pop in candy, then you still won't be able to focus.
Right.
So I think learning foods that I would eat heavy and then I'm sleepy, I can't be productive, all of that. So I definitely think I've made the connection and the link, but also on the mental health side of it, because I think people talk often about just the physical side, mental health. I know I had to get sleep. I know that in order for me to be my best self, I have to take a break. We talked about that earlier, is not waiting until you're run down and sick to stop. Really taking days where it's like, okay, today I may do 2 things on my task list, but the rest of the day I am going to relax. Like I have to take a pause. I need a pause. And even life pauses throughout. Listen, the car life pause when you first get home, that's powerful.
You told me about that. And so let me tell y'all what that is. When she arrives anywhere, home, anywhere, she sits in the car for a few minutes. And I say, what are you doing? Why are you not getting out of the car? She's like, I'm taking a life pause. So I used to laugh about it. I do it too.
Yes.
And sometimes your dad will come to the garage and he's like, what are you doing? It's like,
taking a life pause.
Yeah. and it helps because that gives, before you walk into your home, you've been on the road, your day was stressful. It gives you a minute to decompress, no matter how short it is. Gives you a minute to decompress so that you'll be okay before you encounter the people that you live with.
Absolutely. And I think that it's something that our generation, millennials, zennials, we talk about it and joke about it on TikTok all the time. I think sometimes when we're on the ride home, we're on the phone. And then when you get in, you're like, okay, wait, you need that pause.
Yeah.
But I've also found that people say, listen, on my ride home, that's when I want to talk to you. If you call me back after I make it home,
you're not going to get to talk to
window
me.
is over.
Yeah.
So I think all of those things play a factor. I think that our generation has done a little bit of a better job setting up boundaries to provide wellness for ourselves and others.
I agree with that because even when you talk about not running until you fall on your face, essentially, you learn, like you said, you learned that from me because I felt guilty if I were not fully functional all the time. And so I still struggle with saying no to people. I'm getting much, much better.
Yes.
But it's like, okay, you are calling me at 9:00 at night about something that could have been handled during my regular day, not thinking about I'm a human being,
right?
And I need some time too. And what is convenient for you, but was it as a human? She might be eating dinner,
right?
And so I have to kind of learn to balance that. And so wanting to be, superwoman, all things for all people, and then I'm of that generation,
right? Absolutely,
because we were the generation, the first generation. For us who were, some people say, fully free, so we were people who, Voting Rights Act,
right,
all of that stuff became into being or, were passed during our lifetime. And so we had access to jobs, access to education in a different way, access to places that our parents couldn't go into. And I think it made us just feel like we got to get it.
Right.
Now it's our turn.
Right. We have to run as fast as we can.
We do, because they have opened up the door. And so we better run and be, and not healthy at all. And so we ran ourselves right into dementia.
Yes. And so we are watching you all run yourselves, and we're like, well, we're not going to do
is run ourselves
into the wall.
Yeah, I get it. Well, this has been wonderful. I have one more question.
Yes, ma'am.
So the last one, what advice would you give to other people in a similar position as yourself? If they are not as aware as you are, if they did not have somebody in their life, or they don't have somebody in their life that they can discuss health issues with, is there any advice you'd want to give, a young entrepreneur who's trying to make sure they make it happen, but also trying to make sure that they are well?
Right. I think I would say 3 things. The first thing is take care of you. The business will be there, but if you're not here, you can't do the business.
Got it.
So I would say take care of you. Make sure that you are not running yourself ragged. Think about, what systems can you put in place that can operate outside of you. You should not be doing everything. Number 2, get you a therapist. Make sure that you are spending time working on your mental health, working on your brain, doing exercises to get it out. You need someone to talk to.
Yeah.
And then number 3, I would say community is really important. So for me, community is not only my friends, but it is where I worship. It is my family. So get you a community that will support you in all that you do, not just they want to complain and sit around and go out to eat and do all the things, but a community that is like, okay, girl, or brother, now you said you wanted to get back in shape. So what are we going to do? They challenge you, but they also support you. And it is a supportive situation. So
wow. Good stuff.
Yes.
Well, thank you, sweetheart.
Thank you, Mommy.
I appreciate it so much. Again, you guys know, follow me on all of the things. The website is AskDrJill.net, Insta, AskDrJill, Facebook, Ask Dr. Jill. I'm not on Twitter. I am on Threads. I don't do much on there.
But YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe.
Yes.
Share it with a friend. All the things.
Yeah. And definitely take care of yourselves. Focus on, if there's anything that I hope you've gotten out of this season, is that it is necessary to put a plan in place for you to take care of you. So I'll see y'all next season. Make sure you share.